behalf of TCS Ion, I welcome you all to this session. I am Surajit Mishra from the TCS Ion Digital Manufacturing Solutions team. In this session, we have invited two distinguished experts to understand the quality management in pharmaceutical industry. So it's my pleasure and honor to welcome and introduce our guest speakers today. I welcome Mr. Hari Vyas Bansal, who is a quality consultant. Mr. Bansal is a quality and compliance management professional with 25 years of experience in demonstrating and accomplishing in building commercial quality organizations and implementing compliance and quality improvements. Served as a senior management quality personnel responsible for overseeing quality and compliance in various organizations of repute such as Ranbaxy, Alchem, Panacea Biotech, Mylan, Zydus Cadila, PT Sanbi Pharma Indonesia, Unichem, and Sun Pharma. We also have Mr. Sanjay Jain. I welcome him to this webinar, who is the Vice President of the Indian Pharmaceutical Association, which is the central body of pharmaceutical industry in India. He has 25 years of experience in production, R&D and packaging development with leading pharmaceutical organizations like Ranbaxy Laboratories, Lupin Laboratories, Mylan India, Sun Pharmaceutical. He is the founder of SS Pharma at Bhopal. He is also the Vice President of Indian Pharmaceutical Association, which I said is the central body of the pharma division, and also the ex-president of Indian Pharmaceutical Association, MP branch and state, president of MP Young Pharmacy Graduate Association. So on behalf of TCS Ion Digital Manufacturing, I invite both the distinguished speakers. To open the session, I would like to go to Mr. Bansal in understanding what does the quality mean in pharmaceutical industry and how it is different from quality engineering. Mr. Bansal, please.
So as the question itself says what quality actually means and the word quality. So not only for pharmaceutical industry, for per se any business or any setup, a quality means that the final product should have the ability to satisfy your customer or the consumer to the desired expectations and fulfill its intended purpose. It does not have any specific meaning unless you relate it to something specific, objective, or the function it is intended for. For quality per se is difficult to define because if you put something into a definition, it becomes a very rigid and thus becomes a formal thinking kind of a thing. Quality has a multi-factorial attributes which ensures that quality can never be adequately defined and it does not have a single characteristic. Various regulations in pharmaceutical industries like ICH Q6A defines quality as fitness for use, while ICH Q91 defines quality as conformance to regulations or requirements. Some indicates that quality is inversely proportional to variability. Quality cannot be addressed by just solving. This is what a quality means to the pharmaceutical industry. Now coming to quality assurance and quality engineering. So quality assurance is a term coined in order to assure the quality of the product or to assure the quality of the manufactured batch or a substance in any industry, wherein it starts from identification of the vendors to the dispatch of the final goods into the market and till it is into market at shelf. So the various functions which involves into it, whether it is manufacturing, whether it is engineering, whether it is quality assurance, whether it is quality control, anybody, even the janitor and the housekeeping personnel who is working into the manufacturing atmosphere are all responsible for quality. So whenever we do our job in order to make our product safe, that becomes a part of a quality assurance, right? So Now coming exactly to what exactly quality assurance and quality engineering means. We can, in a quality assurance purpose, we check and we do the testing for the processes which are happening through a set parameters which are laid down as a part of a checklist. But quality engineering is something very different. As the word itself says, quality and engineering. It becomes a mixture of quality and engineering coming together. So when we are into the manufacturing process, we see that there are certain kind of problems which are observed on our day-to-day routine basis. So we can say that quality cannot be addressed just by solving those manufacturing issues, how and when they occur. And indeed, this is not a sensible use of valuable resources. Neither a quality can be tested into a product. Quality must therefore be designed into the product. And here comes the role of quality engineering. So now regulatory bodies, although this term is basically being taken from the software industry, wherein the dynamics are so high and variables are so big that it requires a minute-to-minute changes into the test scripts, right? In a pharmaceutical industry, we have taken this concept and we have coined a separate term for quality engineering, which is known as quality by design. So quality should be built into the product and it should be based on the in-depth understanding of the product, supporting manufacturing processes and underpinning the developing process. Now ICH Q6A indicates that the quality of the drug substance and drug product is determined by their design, development and in-process controls, the GMP controls and process validation, and by specifications which we apply to them. So basically, when you design a product, starting from the beginning, you take care of all the invariables, all the variables, material attributes, the processing attributes, the critical process parameter, the critical quality attributes. You take care of all these things and then you build up a quality test profile in order to develop a product to such an extent that it is stable in the market, it is a quality product into the market, and it is being given to the patient for its intended use, and intended use, it gives you the desirable effect also. So here comes the quality engineers. This is a kind of a body which applies knowledge and technologies but are not limited to development and operation of quality control systems, application and analysis of testing and inspection procedures, the ability to use the metrology and statistical methods to diagnose and correct improper quality practices, an understanding of human factors and motivations, familiarity with quality cost concepts and techniques, and the knowledge and ability to develop, administer, management information system and to audit quality system for deficiency identification and correction. So the last word which I have said, that quality system audit for deficiency identification and correction. Now when we develop a product, starting from the conceptualization to the final product, there comes certain amount of processes, various stages of manufacturing, development, then commercialization. At the end of the day, the quality assurance becomes more important even if there is a quality engineering, in order to audit all your quality systems starting from the gate entry till the shelf of the retail store or wholesaler or a marketing distribution channel or even to the customer as a patient. The quality system audits the complete process and identify if there is any deficiency and suggest the corrective actions so as the manufacturing process should be sustainable, the quality should be invariable, and it should be producing the desired effect. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Bansal, for providing your key insights. Mr. Jain, if you can please explain the entire process of implementation for development of pharmaceutical products, please.
Regarding to quality of medicines, in normally जो आज हम बात कर रहे हैं वो हम इंडिया के ही फार्मा इंडस्ट्री से बात कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि इंडिया में जो रिसोर्सेबल अवेलेबल हैं, जहां हम रह रहे हैं, हम उसके हिसाब से ही आज की बात कर रहे हैं। क्योंकि इंडिया जो है या भारत में अपने 3 तरह के फार्मा उद्योग हैं, एक स्मॉल इंडस्ट्री, एक मिडिल इंडस्ट्री, एक लार्ज इंडस्ट्री। जो रूल्स रेगुलेशन हैं जो हमारे बंसल साहब ने भी अभी बताए हैं, ये सब स्मॉल इंडस्ट्री में उतने इजी वे में नहीं हो पाते हैं। उसके बहुत से फैक्टर्स हैं जिसको ज़रूरत आने पे हम एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं, लेकिन अभी हम उससे दूर हट रहे हैं। जो मिडिल इंडस्ट्री रहती हैं और बड़ी इंडस्ट्री रहती हैं, उनमें फार्मा के हम नाम्स और उनके स्टैंडर्ड फॉलो करते हैं, जिससे कि हमारी दवाइयाँ जो हैं, जो उपभोक्ता तक पहुँचती हैं, उनमें गुणवत्ता बनी रहे। और गुणवत्ता इसलिए इम्पॉर्टेंट है कि अगर गुणवत्ता दवाई में नहीं रहेगी तो जो व्यक्ति या जो पेशेंट है वो उसका फ़ायदा नहीं उठा पाएगा और वो ठीक नहीं हो पाएगा। अब किसी भी फार्मा कंपनी हो या कोई भी इंडस्ट्री हो, मेन मशीन और मेथड, 3 चीज़ें मिनिमम हमें चाहिए किसी भी फार्मा प्रोडक्ट को डेवलपमेंट या उसको आगे बढ़ाने के लिए। तो फार्मा इंडस्ट्री की अब हम बात कर रहे हैं, जैसे मैंने आपको पहले बताया था कि जो मैं बात कर रहा हूं आज आपके साथ वो मिडिल और लार्ज फार्मा इंडस्ट्री की बात कर रहा हूं। इसके लिए जब फार्मा इंडस्ट्री की शुरुआत होती है, उसके लिए शुरुआत से ही पूरा स्ट्रक्चर, लेआउट, डिज़ाइन इस हिसाब से बनाई जाती है, जिसमें सेफ्टी, इन्वायरमेंट, हेल्थ, इन सब चीज़ों का ध्यान रखा जाता है। तो स्टार्टिंग टू लेआउट इन एवरी स्टेज हमें सब चीज़ें कंट्रोल करना पड़ती हैं कि हमारी दवाई किस तरह से इफ़ेक्ट हो सकती है। जो मैंने मेन पॉइंट ली हैं उस पर मैं आपसे डिस्कस कर रहा हूँ। जैसे शुरुआत होती है मैन पावर रिक्रूटमेंट की, कि हम आदमी कहाँ से लें। फार्मा इंडस्ट्री में मैन पावर जो होते हैं, एक वर्कर बोलते हैं उसको या ऑपरेटर बोलते हैं, दूसरा सुपरवाइज़र होता है, एजुकेटिव होता है, मैनेजर होता है, फिर हायर मैनेजमेंट होता है। और इन सब के लिए कुछ बेसिक क्वालिफ़िकेशन रहती है। उस क्वालिफ़िकेशन के बेस पर हम डिसाइड करते हैं कि हमें ये प्रोडक्ट बनाना है तो इतने मैन पावर से लेके इस हिसाब से चाहिए। तो सब एक HR डिपार्टमेंट अपनी फॉर्मेलिटी पूरी करता है। अब हम बात करते हैं स्टार्टिंग टू ट्रेनिंग। जब हमने व्यक्ति को ले लिया और हमने प्लान कर लिया कि हम मेडिसिन बनाएं, तो उसमें ट्रेनिंग इज मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट। हम उनको स्टेप टू स्टेप ट्रेनिंग करते हैं, चाहे वो सिक्योरिटी की ट्रेनिंग हो, चाहे गेट एंट्री की ट्रेनिंग हो, जिसको हम आजकल नॉर्मल भाषा में बोलते हैं SOP, स्टैंडर्ड ऑपरेशन प्रोसीजर। स्टैंडर्ड ऑपरेशन प्रोसीजर वो प्रक्रिया है जिसमें बिंदुवार क्रमबद्ध तरीके से हर चीज़ों को बताया जाता है कि अब आपने ऐसा किया है तो इसके बाद ये करिए, उसके बाद ये करिए। क्रमबद्ध तरीके से SOP रहती है, जो कि आपको कार्य करने के लिए, व्यवस्थित सुचारू रूप से कार्य करने के लिए मदद करती है। इसके बाद आपने जब पूरी ट्रेनिंग कंप्लीट कर ली, मैन पावर ले लिए, उस केस में आपको आता है रिसीविंग ऑफ मटेरियल्स। यहाँ से किसी भी फार्मा प्रोडक्ट की मेडिसिन बनाने की प्रक्रिया शुरू होती है। रिसीविंग ऑफ मटेरियल्स की प्रोसेस कंप्लीट करने के लिए भी मैक्सिमम फार्मा कंपनियों में हर क्रिटिकल केस पे एक चेकलिस्ट बना, चेकलिस्ट में उन्होंने दिया है कि आपको क्या क्या चीज़ें किसी चीज़ को करने के लिए चेक करना है। वो सब SOP में भी रहती हैं। उसके हिसाब से आदमी जब सब चीज़ें चेक करता है तब वो मटेरियल रिसीव करता है। उसके बाद वो रिसीव करने के बाद वो मटेरियल डिफरेंट एरिया में भेजता है। जैसे मैं आपसे फार्मा इंडस्ट्री की बात करूं तो आपने पैरासीटामॉल टैबलेट के नाम से क्रोसिन बहुत लोग यूज करते हैं, वो आपका ब्रांड नेम है क्रोसिन, और जो उसमें लिखा रहता है पैरासीटामॉल टैबलेट IP 500 mg आइदर 650 mg, वो उसका जेनरिक है। पैरासीटामॉल तो उसका एक्टिव इंग्रेडिएंट है, लेकिन उससे अकेली दवाई बनने वाली नहीं है। उसके लिए हमें जो जो और मटेरियल लगते हैं उसके हिसाब से हमारा सब मटेरियल रिसीव्ड होता है। दो तरह के फार्मा इंडस्ट्री में मटेरियल होते हैं, एक रॉ मटेरियल, एक पैकिंग मटेरियल। रॉ मटेरियल से आपकी दवाई बनती है, पैकिंग मटेरियल से आपकी दवाई की सेफ्टी होती है। या यूँ कहें कि बगैर पैकिंग मटेरियल के दवाई की वैल्यू कुछ भी नहीं है। बिकॉज अगर आपने प्रॉपर वे में दवाई बनाई और उसको पैक नहीं की तो उसकी जो पोटेंसी है वो अपने आप धीरे धीरे कम होते हुए जब ऐसी स्थिति आएगी कि जब तक आप खा रहे होंगे तो उसकी पोटेंसी ख़त्म हो जाएगी। जैसे आपने लिखा होगा मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एंड एक्सपायरी। तो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग तो मतलब है कि उस महीने में उस साल में वो दवाई बना दी। एक्सपायरी का मतलब ये होता है कि इस ईयर तक, इस महीने तक आप दवाई खाएंगे तो वो काम करेंगी। बिकॉज दिस ऑल डिपेंड द पैकिंग ऑफ मटेरियल्स। उसकी पोटेंसी को इस हिसाब से हम इतने मटेरियल यूज करके उसको स्टेबल करते हैं कि वहाँ तक उसकी पोटेंसी अप टू द मार्क बनी रहे, जो कि पेशेंट के लिए कारगर सिद्ध। इसके बाद आपने कहा है कि हम इम्प्लीमेंटेशन इन चीज़ों का कैसे करें। फिर मैं आपको वापस बोल रहा हूँ, इम्प्लीमेंटेशन के लिए जो मेजर रोल रहते हैं QC, QA, प्रोडक्शन, R&D, रेगुलेटरी, ये सब डिपार्टमेंट एक साथ मिलकर एक टीम वर्क के साथ काम करते हैं। अगर हमें कोई भी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन करना है फार्मा इंडस्ट्री में किसी प्रोडक्ट की क्वालिटी के लिए तो हमें इनको स्टेप टू स्टेप इम्प्लीमेंट करना पड़ता है। क्रॉस लिस्ट जो रहती मैंने आपको बताया उसको स्टेप टू स्टेप क्रॉस चेक करके, इसमें प्रोडक्शन पर्सन भी रहता है, इंजीनियरिंग पर्सन भी अगर इंजीनियरिंग से रिलेटेड रहता है। इसके बाद QA QC तो हर स्टेप पे लगभग फार्मा इंडस्ट्री में इन्वॉल्व होता ही है। इसके बाद हम करते हैं ऑडिट। एक टीम रहती है फार्मा इंडस्ट्री में जो टाइम टू टाइम, एक टीम में जिसमें हर फील्ड के व्यक्ति रहते हैं, वो टीम टाइम टू टाइम पे ऑडिट करती है कि हम क्या कर रहे हैं, जो कर रहे हैं वो सही है या गलत है। अगर गलत है तो उसको कैसे ठीक करना है, उसका एक फ्रेम रहता है। ऑडिट के बाद ऑडिट कंप्लाइन के लिए एक टीम रहती है। ऑडिट में कौन कौन सी चीज़ें गलत हो रही हैं उनको भी फार्मा इंडस्ट्री में 3 भागों में बांटा है, मेजर, माइनर, क्रिटिकल। मेजर माइनर में बोलें तो हम जिनको हम ज़्यादा प्रोडक्ट पे इफ़ेक्ट नहीं पड़ता है। क्रिटिकल ऐसी रहती कि जिस पे प्रोडक्ट पे बहुत ज़्यादा इफ़ेक्ट पड़ता है। इसीलिए इन तीनों चीज़ों, तीनों मेजर माइनर क्रिटिकल के बेस पे एनालिसिस करते हैं। उसके बाद जो ऑडिट पॉइंट है उनको रिव्यू करके हम उनको रोकने का प्रयास करते हैं। इस सब के बाद भी जब प्रोडक्शन शुरू होता है तो हर स्टेज पे कंट्रोलिंग होती है, चाहे वो मशीन हो चाहे मैन पावर हो। इसके बाद स्टैंडर्ड मेथड अप्लाई की जाती है प्रोडक्शन प्रोसेस में, पैकिंग प्रोसेस में। इसके आगे और भी बहुत सी चीज़ें जो मैं आगे आप पूछेंगे तो आगे मैं आपको बताऊंगा। इन सब चीज़ों पे जब हम कंट्रोल करेंगे तो हम इन सब को इम्प्लीमेंटेशन कर पाते हैं। और इम्प्लीमेंटेशन जब हो जाता है तब उस स्थिति में आपकी जो दवाई है, या यूं कहें कि रॉ मटेरियल रिसीव से लेके और जो हर स्टेज कंप्लीट करके रिसीविंग ऑफ मटेरियल, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, पैकिंग, टेस्टिंग, रिलीज ऑफ मटेरियल, देन फाइनल फिनिश प्रोडक्ट रिलीज, then go to warehouse, then dispatch to wholesale agent, then go to medical store, then go to patient। तब तक की जो प्रक्रिया है, इस सब चीज़ों में हम कंट्रोलिंग अगर हर स्टेप पे करते हैं तो हमारी दवाई इफेक्टेड रहती है और पेशेंट तक पहुंचती है और उसकी जो एक्सपायरी लिखी हुई है वो हम कारगर सिद्ध कर पाते हैं। इस तरह से सब स्टेप अपनाने के बाद इम्प्लीमेंटेशन हम अच्छे प्रोडक्ट फार्मा के लिए करते हैं। यही मेरी नॉलेज है। मैंने कोई किताबें रेफरेंस नहीं की हैं, मैं कोई स्टैंडर्ड आपको रेफरेंस नहीं दूंगा। तो 25 साल का मैंने प्रोडक्शन R&D या जिस फील्ड में भी काम किया है उसका मैं आपको सेल्फ, अपना जो कॉन्फिडेंस और जो सेल्फ अनुभव है उसके बारे में बोल रहा हूँ। मैं कोई दावा या क्लेम चैलेंज नहीं कर रहा हूँ।
Thanks, Mr. Jain, for providing the key insights. So next, I'll go back to you, Mr. Bansal, again. So request you to share your thoughts on the Indian pharma sector change and its approach and the process to maintain quality in the pharma products. So you can share your thoughts, sir.
Quality has different meanings, and quality has developed from old age concepts to the 20th century concepts now, and now we are going forward. At times, the quality was started with the final product testing, which was followed by statistical quality control tools. But then it was observed that SQC cannot minimize the inherent risks associated with the product during manufacturing or the production, as it failed to be detected only by testing. So going forward, the concept of GMP was developed and was mandatory across pharmaceutical industry by various regulatory authorities, and was going on with the development of GMP, wherein there is a set amount of procedures put up in standard operating procedures, written down in a chronological order, and it was expected by the people that you should not be deviating from those written down procedures, and has to perform the as per the laid down procedure, come what may be the situation, whether it complies to your requirements or it does not comply. And if it does not comply, it goes further development of the SOPs. But then it was expected that the SOP should be followed meticulously. Then going forward, the concept of quality further changes, as only GMP and following SOPs could not suffice the purpose, and comes the framework of a risk-based approach. And the risk-based approach was further taken by process analytical technologies, which was known as PAT. And now in this 21st century, we are on the verge of using another risk-based concept, which is known as quality by design. So this quality by design has already been explained, that it has been engineering of a product starting from the beginning till it hits the manufacturing shop floor and it goes into the market for the final intended purpose. But the pharma manufacturers are very reluctant to these change processes, which were confirmed, validated, and well accepted. The pharma industry's commitment on maintaining status quo has resulted in inefficiency and higher wastages. As we have been seeing regularly when we go to the market, that the cost of the medicines are getting higher and higher on a day-to-day basis. What does that cost of quality includes? It does not only include the raw material, it does not only include the factory setup, it includes all your redundancies and wastages and inefficiencies, which has resulted into the higher cost of the medicines. And surprisingly, you would be shocked to know that 80% is the inefficiency cost, and 50% respectively with the higher wastages, which amounts to something around $4.5 to $9 billion per year, as compared to the total production of $90 billion. So just imagine a pharma industry working on a 10% redundancies and inefficiencies and higher wastages, how it would be able to maintain the costs. The challenge for pharmaceutical industry is to go ahead with QBD in order to reduce the gray zones of responsibilities, slow responses, late calls for helps when problem occurs, and move towards an environment where problems are immediately identified, shared, and resolved across the plant. So this is the current status of Indian pharmaceutical industry, which needs to be changed to maintain the pharmaceutical quality culture into the industry.
Thanks, Mr. Bansal. I again come back to you, Mr. Bansal. FDA is expecting key data in the form of quality matrices from companies. What is the quality matrices and how does it help companies to maintain the quality? If you can share your thoughts, sir.
Actually, we have seen over a period of time that the inspection process in pharmaceutical industry has changed a lot. Earlier, the inspectors used to come, they sit across in a conference room and start documentation process. So we have seen very rarely, except for a few regulatory authorities who are actually interested in looking into shop floor procedures and the culture which has been into the organization. They are much interested in looking into your documentation and how you have produced your documents and they sit in the conference room and they check it. But then and then earlier there were no big amount of pharmaceutical industries into the picture. Over a period of time, the pharmaceutical industries have grown into multiples, and the numbers have grew huge across globe. In order to cope up with the requirement of the inspections, certainly FDA is always running short of the manpower in order to cover the complete process of the inspection, which was like earlier, sometimes it was 5 years, sometimes it then changes to 3 years, and then it becomes 2 years invariably for all the regulated market companies to be inspected by the regulatory inspector. So then it was like a thought was put into by some of the regulators that why don't we ask, or why don't we share our thoughts with the organizations, that they voluntarily submit some data from their organization on some critical points which can reflect on how the company is maintaining their quality culture overall, what the company is looking into, what is the engagement of the management into the processes, what is the engagement of quality people, what is the engagement of all the other departments who are working into the industry. So they have framed some key parameters which needs to be submitted to FDA by the organizations, but it was not mandatory. It was just an expectation which organizations welcomed it, and they started submitting some data, and this data was in the form of matrices, which is a measurable quantity. Matrices, if we go by a word, it is like a data into a measurable quantity. Right? When we have been studying in schools, we used to learn about matrices, scales, protectors, Ds, angles. So these were all matrices. When it comes to the data, the FDA expects some level of guidance which leaves the opportunity open to establish quality culture by stating that these matrices are not intended to be all-inclusive set of the quality metrics that FDA could consider useful. But this is what gives a thought process or a know-how to an FDA that this company is working into the culture of quality. So major of these data were like lot acceptance rate. If we consider this as a part of one of the critical data, lot acceptance rate, that is batches, the number of batches produced by a company in a month, and how many batches are accepted for release, how many are rejected. If we see it in a broader term, that number of batches manufactured and number of batches released for dispatch or sales, if it is 100%, then we can say that the company's culture of quality is good. We don't have any failure rates, we don't have any redundancies, inefficiencies, or any kind of quality issues with the company processes. Then again comes to the second parameter, which was product quality complaint rate. So if we dispatch the products in 100% to the market of the production, and we don't receive any complaint thereof from those products, then again it has been understood that the company's product which has been shared or sent to the market for sales is of a good quality, and it is produced in a manner which is efficient for the patient for its consumption and for its intended use. And then comes the invalidated out of specification rates. So when we test the products, we test it against the set specifications. Sometimes we observe the results which were not complying to the specification limits, and that is known as out of specification. So now comes the out of specification, again is being distinguished into two parts: validated out of specifications and invalidated out of specification. Validated out of specification, wherein you can easily determine the root cause. Okay, my flask has broken, my electric connectivity has been gone bad, or something which is being identifiable. It becomes a validated. But then the challenge with the industry comes when it comes to invalidated out of specification. We generally see that we put a blame on human resources. आदमी से गलती हो गई थी, हमने उसको दोबारा ट्रेनिंग दे दी. So this becomes a general norm. But then FDA expects something more into it. You should deep dive into the root cause, identify the actual or the most probable root cause. If you are not able to identify actual, you should be at least doing hypothesis in order to identify the most probable root cause, and then has to establish the kappa thereof. So these were the three major checkpoints which FDA was expecting, and which pharmaceutical industries are voluntarily submitting it to the company. But there are n number of other parameters also, like recall rate, batch failures, training issues. So there are certain other parameters also which has been submitted as a matrices in order. These are volunteer again. I would again use the word volunteer data submissions. These are not binding. These are not been like forcefully implemented by the FDA, and it is not been that the companies cannot be shut only because of these FDA data, these quality matrices data. So now on the basis of this data, FDA teams sitting at their offices, they review these data, and then they identify that the companies are working in what level of quality culture, right? So on the basis of that, FDA again decides the frequency of their audits, whether we should be auditing this organization on the regular frequency of 2 years, or if there is a workload, can we postpone this inspection for another year, or on basis on the data, sometimes the companies are given go ahead without even auditing also. So this is how the changes into the quality matrices perspective has taken place, and FDA is expecting these data from the companies, and this is how it helps company to maintain their quality culture. Because if your matrices speaks good, if your numbers speaks good, it means your company is working in good quality culture. But then again, these numbers are not to be fabricated. These are to be honestly submitted. And once you calculate this, depending upon the, because you don't have to just give this data, you have to submit the metadata along with it. If they ask for the lot acceptance rate, then you have to give the complete data of how many lots, with what batch size, with what quantity of the numbers of tablets have been produced, and what numbers have been released into the market. So this becomes a statistical base on the basis of which the companies submit their data, and this is how the companies are now able to maintain their quality cultures, because it has been very much inherent. If you look into the scenarios, FDA is pointing on to India and China the most, because these are the two countries which has the biggest manufacturing hub for pharmaceuticals, and these were only into the target, and have been reading into the news articles and everywhere that the good quality is not being observed or not been given by India and China. So companies are not very much keen into looking into this. The management was not keen into looking into this. But when we started submitting the matrices, the management also becomes knowledgeable. The management also become more responsible in order for submission of the data, because now we have started seeing that whenever FDA gives any 483 observations or any warning letters, it is always been addressed to the managing director of the company, not anymore to the plant heads of the companies. So this is how we can we can say that the quality metrics has developed over a time. The quality metrics is becoming a bridge between FDA and the industry in order to maintain the quality of the product and the culture of the company.
So thanks, Mr. Bansal, for your key insights.